I've seen too many smart founders chasing algorithm wins, only to wonder why none of it translated to revenue. If you've been banking on going viral instead of clarity, this will change how you think. The brands that are winning right now, they're not just lucky, they've mastered the kind of messaging that cuts through the noise and earns trust, even when their reach is limited. I've worked both inside startups, enterprise teams, and every growth curve that lasted came from one thing: clear, resonant messaging rooted in what your audience actually cares about. Today, I'll show you how to build that kind of clarity using a simple but powerful process that I use with every client. Listen, one of the biggest lies that I hear in marketing right now is that going viral is all you need to drive strong sales for your business, and it's just not true. In fact, most viral videos like this one,
"Hey, how's it going?" "A cashier has asked me how it's going. How do I respond?"
or this one, serve just one purpose, and that is to drive awareness, to get attention on your brand or your business. But if you don't have a strategy to translate that attention into sales, it's not going to lead to long-term success. So what's one piece of content that performed really well but didn't lead to a real uplift in your pipeline? This is what your sales looks like with emotional resonance. And this is what your sales look like if you're only talking about logical features or proof points. What emotional resonance means is two things. The first thing, tapping into the emotion of your buyer, like this ad, makes your marketing more memorable and it breaks through the noise. The second part of emotional resonance is using buyer psychology, like this loyalty program, to drive conversions, not just attention. Every time, emotion outperforms cleverness or just being louder, because humans make decisions with their emotions first, and then they justify that decision with logic after the fact. And this is true not just for consumers, but also for businesses. So brands that tap into emotions like this campaign grow significantly faster. Tapping into this subconscious decision-making process is your ultimate hack to driving more sales without wasting spend. What emotion does your ideal client feel when they buy your offer? What emotion do they want to feel when they buy your offer? And are you speaking to that directly? If I woke up tomorrow with zero in the bank account, here's what I do to build a campaign that will get me conversions and sales fast. I'd start with an audience immersion where I'd get up close and personal with my ideal customer through observation and interviews to understand what motivates them to buy and what they're most interested in. With zero budget, I'd most likely use my testing assistant so that I could scrape social media conversations and really understand their pain points. Then I'd move to insight synthesis, where I take all that information that I just learned and build a campaign strategy across my offer. What do I need to say? What do I need to produce? My marketing and my customer experience, so that that emotional resonance doesn't just stop with the ad, but translates all the way through the customer journey. Then I'd move to building my campaign. So with zero budget, I'm likely doing something on social media. So I'd grab my credit card and create a lead magnet that I can launch on social with ad spend of $10 a day. So that gives me leads really quickly and really cheaply that I can work and get to conversion and sales. So with this approach, I consistently get campaigns that outperform industry benchmarks without wasted spend. Campaigns like this one and this one. So which stage of the A.I.M framework are you skipping today? Or where are you guessing? Hey, if you're realizing that your current strategy skips the insight step, you're not alone, but it's costing you real money. I see this all the time. Brands screaming into the void and spending more than they need to because they're working off of assumptions. That's exactly why I created the CMO Budget Rescue Checklist. It shows you where your spend is misaligned and how to reconnect with what your audience really actually responds to. The link is in the description. If you're anything like me, you take your work very seriously and you're working hard to build something that lasts and has generational impact. That's the problem with relying on reach to grow your business. It's here today and gone tomorrow. Instead, use emotional resonance that builds trust, authority, and loyalty and uses those as your growth engines. That compound effect, when you add audience clarity, is what leads to clients that I've been working with that have been around for 125 years, 150 years, because they understand that when you build with emotional resonance around what your customers are willing and ready to pay for, that builds for legacy, not just for the here now, but gone tomorrow. So what consistent message are you communicating to your audience, and how does it reflect the deep understanding that you have of their pain points and their needs? If you hear nothing else, hear this. Brand messaging is not something that can be owned by marketing alone if you want to build a legacy business. It needs to show up across your social content, across your sales decks, your onboarding flows, and in your product features to really drive lifetime value and customers that keep coming back, because that's how you build legacy businesses. So let me give you an example. I was working with a brand that was coming out with a new loyalty program, and they were talking about jet setting across the world and giving their customers all of these high value opportunities. And when we actually sat down and talked with their customers said, we don't really want to go to Europe. We want to stay in America and take our family to Disney World. That was their goal and their aspirations. And so it was a misalignment. Even after knowing these customers and having gotten sales from these customers in the past, they still didn't understand what really motivated their customers to keep coming back. And so when they made that change in their loyalty message and spoke more towards family time or going to Disney World, they saw sales increase exponentially because they were talking their customers' language and resonating with what their audience was ready and willing to pay for. So where does your current messaging make too many assumptions, and where will audience clarity really help you close the gap? When your message truly lands, every part of your business starts working harder, from content to conversions to client referrals. But here's the next challenge. Even great messaging can't save a broken launch. If you've ever poured time and energy into a product only to hear crickets when it launched, you need to see this next video. I'll walk you through why most launches fail, from ignoring early adopter signals to misaligning your features, and how to build a go-to-market strategy that actually drives adoption. You can watch it here.